Hey everybody, this is ESP LTD Guitar Lover coming to you live from Milford Gold Key Studios, and I told you I would be back with another Traadetang guitar, and let me give you the number on this one and that so we can go over it real quick. You'll see it also in the beginning of the video. It's a G162 935 637, and you're going to notice on this one that the seller is different this time. This is the seller's name is ICWY F996. And I would not recommend this seller. If you can find the guitar, fine, but I would not recommend this seller, and I'll tell you why later on in the video. Let's just go over some of the specs first. Specs on this one is at a 3-piece mahogany body. Now, every guitar that I've had from Traadetang so far come in, every seller, I've used 3 different sellers so far. I have one other guitar to go over that I used a different seller. Everyone has been a mahogany body. Alright, so there's a lot of people I hear on videos saying, well, they don't have a mahogany body. If you're not getting a mahogany body as specified in the thing, you're getting ripped off. Alright, so specify when you contact the seller that you want a mahogany body. Alright, I have never seen one of these in basswood. I haven't seen one of them in swamp ash. I haven't seen any other woods except for mahogany. So if you're getting anything else than mahogany or what you're ordering, send it back or contact the seller prior to ordering, alright? Maple veneer cap on this one. It is a very thick maple veneer cap on these guitars. It has a slim taper 1960s type neck. Very thin neck on this. Definitely not like the gold top that I showed you guys where it had that big chunky neck. This one's a very slim tapered neck. Let me see what this is. Set and neck, adjustable truss rod, 24.75 scale, which is pretty much well similar to all the other guitars we have here. Rosewood fingerboard. This is not an ebony fingerboard, and you can tell that they actually colored this in really deep and dark. I thought it was ebony when I first opened it up, but it is rosewood. You can specify ebony to the seller if you want an ebony fingerboard. Alright, so just whatever you want. If you want push-pull pots, ebony fingerboard, just let them know what you want. Let me see, trapezoid inlays, 12-inch fingerboard radius, 22 medium jumbo frets, and I did have some fret issues with this one. Bridge and neck pickup are not potted on this one. Alright, they're out of all the guitars that I've ordered so far, 2 have shown up without waxing, and this one I waxed myself, but I'm going to eventually throw a Duncan inside of it now, so I just wanted to see what it sounded like. Volume and tone capacitors are not the orange drop type. They're, like I said before in the other videos, and that they're more of like an ESP LTD type tone and volume type capacitors that you can live with, or you can replace them with Duncans. Like I said, you're going to probably rip them out anyway. 3-way toggle switch, which is a very good toggle switch. 2-pneumatic stop bear bar type tailpiece, chrome plated. The problem with I noticed with these and that is that the intonation adjustments don't go far enough on a lot of these, and there's a couple of people on YouTube and that who are really good at replacing these things and that, and if you take a look at my page, you'll see who I'm talking about. Dave from Texas is one of them, and that they seem to pretty know the ins and outs of replacement parts where you get it right the first time on these. Let me see, Hartwell nickel, yep. Tuners on this one is 12 to 1. They're not 14 to 1. This one is 12 to 1. The weight on this is 7.5 pounds, and that's on my digital scale. It said it was 7 pounds. The manufacturer sheet said it was 7 pounds, but it's basically 7.5 pounds. And that's pretty much well it. Let me let you take a look at it. But what I'll go over first now is before I do anything, the fret issues that I had on this one. The fret issues were pretty bad on this one. The B string 18th to the 22nd fret were dented on this, and they really should have picked it up during their, I guess you could say, their quality controls inspection, but they didn't. Anybody who would tune this thing and then bend up the B string would have noticed that this thing was catching. So what I had to basically do was level and dress the frets. And there was no sharp edges on the sides and stuff like that. It was just the dents on the 18th to the 22nd. It was almost like something had fallen across it and dented it. No other part of the fret was affected, just that one above the B string. It wasn't something major, but if you don't know what you're doing as far as the fret dress and a level and crowning and polishing and stuff like that, maybe it's something that you want to leave to a tech to do. And also, on this thing also was shipping issues, but we'll go into that in a second. What I got is I got a Honeyburst. Now, this is actually, of all the problems that I had with this thing, this is actually my favorite guitar as far as the look. I got it up to a very good playing level. Like I said, the fret dress and everything is really nice. I actually installed Ernie Ball Super Slinky 910 hybrid set, which really, Cobalt, which really helped this guitar come out also in that. So I can't wait to actually put the Duncans in. But for right now, I'm just showing you what this thing is like stock. In the future videos and that, we'll be going over slowly the transformation of all these guitars piece by piece. Alright, but here is the top on this. It's this very, very nice top. And let me see, I'll start to blur out. If you notice, it is similar in color to the tangerine that I showed you, with a little bit of added honey to it. And I really like it. It's not the red on the JP model that I have. It's a honey, like a honey burst, I guess you could say. Beautiful finish on it. It really is. It came out really nice. All right, let me show you here. Hopefully the studio lighting isn't, there's so many lights in here. Hopefully it isn't bothering it. All right, the top really looks good on this. Controls are good. Caps are put on here really nice. They're flush. Really looks good. All right, show you the back real quick. All right, and it is mahogany. All right, guys. Doesn't take much of a rocket scientist to figure out that it's mahogany when you take it apart and you're looking inside of it. Nice thick maple cap also when you take out everything on this thing, the pickups. And the scarf joint is very well hidden there. You can see it. Right under the light you can see it real good. You can't see it when it's dark, but you can see it when you get a light on there. You can see right through there. See it, guys? There you go. Alright. Now some of you have been saying this, they got one-piece necks. Some have two-piece with the scarf joint. To me, it really doesn't matter. As long as it's a good neck, truss rod's able to be adjusted on it and stuff like that. Actually, I would prefer a scarf joint in case if somebody drops it or whatever and that stuff. It's a little bit easier to replace parts. And let me show you here. The fretwork. Fretwork came out nice. I can't say that this is their fretwork because it's my fretwork. Alright, because I polished and leveled the frets. But there wasn't too much work that had to be done on this, like I said, except for the 18th to the 22nd fret, which is where we had, especially on the 22nd fret, where we had the problems right there on the B string. This was really dented up in this area, really bad, deep dent, and nice and smooth right now. So not too bad. Overall fit and finish, other than the fret problem, it looks good. All right, well worth the money. Now this is where we run into a dilemma. You might say, well, yeah, I like the guitar, I want to order the guitar. I ran into the problem with the seller with lying, basically. Not about the guitar, but how it was sent, when it was sent. This is the first time I actually ran into that with the first supplier that I used. Basically, when he told me it was going out, about a day later, I was able to track it. This woman basically told me half a dozen times, oh, it's out, I made sure of it, go to EMS, blah, 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 blah. Could never track it. Actually, I finally called EMS in China and spoke to a really nice woman, broken English, and trying to hunt this down. And basically what she said is that if it's brought into EMS, it's scanned. If it's not brought into EMS, there's no number on it. So basically what the lady was telling me was a lie, and that she hadn't brought it in there yet. So after constantly going back and forth with this lady, finally she turned around and she said, just came back from vacation, dropping off your package. After all these emails, and this went on for almost 2 weeks. Finally went through EMS and it did its usual pattern. It took around 9 days from the time it hit EMS to customs. And by the way, this went through Chicago, LAX also. Didn't have a problem with it. I'm not going to mention anything else. Never had a problem. And it took around 9 days from the time it hit EMS to USPS in Chicago, and then after that it was sent via UPS and next day air and that from a friend of mine up in Chicago. But needless to say, I wouldn't trust the seller on this because of the lies and stuff like that. Now I'm sure you could probably find, if you go onto the Traadetang site and you take a look at their description of this guitar and type that description in, I'm sure that you're going to probably hit maybe 10 of these exact same guitar, and you might actually hit a seller that's a little bit more trustworthy with this. The only problem with the Traadetang site that I have is that everybody's got 100% satisfaction record on their sales, which is absolutely not true. I mean, because I put in a complaint and she still got 100%. So you actually have to dig a little bit into their sales references, and you'll see these little smiley faces there, and then you'll see comments. The best thing to do is just go to the comment section if they've sold quite a few, and then you'll see the satisfied or dissatisfied customers and stuff like that. I did make a comment on the bottom of this guitar basically saying about the fretwork that needed to be done, and it should have been caught during the final QC process. But other than that, it's a good playing guitar. It needed a little work, and it's still going to need some work. It's going to need some volume pots, tone pots, better electronics and stuff like that, and then we'll do some more testing on it and see how it sounds. But for right now, through the EVH or the PV or the Randall, and we also have a Soldano now in the studio, and just got an Engelin also that we're testing out, a Fireball. And so far they sound good. I mean, a guitar like this is going to sound good through amps like that. But when we put the Duncans in them, we're gonna go with pearly gates and 59s and see how they sound. And also we're also going to do an EMG setup in one of these guitars also. So it's going to be pretty cool in the couple months coming ahead. All right. So this is ESP LTD Guitar Lover coming to you live from Milford Gold Key Studio. And also to the people of Texas and the people of Oklahoma, God bless. You've been through a lot. Up here we're trying to help you guys out by sending donations to the Red Cross and stuff like that, because prayers sometimes just don't help. You got to send money and you got to send clothing. So hang in there. And this is ESP LTD Guitar Lover coming to you live from Gold Key Studios, and I'll be back with the double neck. Yes, the double neck, and then we have the Black Beauty, 3-pickup Black Beauty, and a really nice looking butterscotch Fender Squier Telecaster. It's Fender Week at American Music Supply, and they were kind enough to send me a really nice guitar to do a review on, and I love it. It has a really nice country twang. Alright, so that'll be up and coming in the next couple weeks when I get time. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit behind in that, but it's summertime, and I like to do my gardening in the summer. Alright, so everybody shut up and play your guitar. Peace. Bye.